The Last Frontier is a 2025 thriller drama that premiered on Apple TV October 10th, 2025 with a 2-episode premiere. This series will run for 10 episodes. This was created by John Bokenkamp, who you may know created the NBC TV hit series The Blacklist starring James Spader. The Last Frontier basically tells the story of U.S. Marshal Frank Remick, who is a lawman stationed outside Fairbanks, Alaska. And things all come crashing down when a prisoner transport plane crashes in the wilderness and kind of releases 18 fugitives on the run. But one of them isn't just any criminal, and he's a ghost from the CIA's past, and his name is Havelock. This series, what begins as a simple manhunt, kind of turns into something far more sinister. You could say this is The Fugitive meets Con Air meets The Blacklist, which is really, really interesting when you put it all together. Remick and his team kind of make it to the crash site, and they are ambushed by the escapees. An all-out brawl ensues, and it's absolutely crazy how Frank and some of his men were able to get out of there alive. We then see Sydney Schofield, played by Amanda Collin, who is a CIA operative who has a history to herself, and she is kind of Havelock's former handler. As the first 2 episodes progress, you see the backstory between Havelock and Schofield, and it's like, what is going on and what is happening? Not only that, we see Alfre Woodard's character in this, as Jacqueline Bradford is a CIA official, but Schofield's superior, who tells Schofield to keep things a secret and not to get out anything and not to tell Remick about certain things. But Remick is just very, very persistent about what's going on, who's Havelock, and Schofield's like, how do you know that name? It's a real dynamic where we see things escalate really, really quickly. Each episode runs for an hour long, and it's going to be really interesting to see. Not only that, Remick is married to Sarah, who is a nurse at the local hospital. He also has a son named Luke, and then everyone in the kind of town knows one another. You know, they're very friendly, they're very likable, and everything is really kind of, you know, once the whisper gets out, then craziness does ensue. Havelock kind of, in a way, sets up a digital dead man switch. If he dies, the contents of Archive 6, which is a classified CIA file, will be unleashed. There is a motive to Havelock's presence, and seeing Dominic Cooper play this character is really, really different than any other character that he's played before in movies or TV series. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Knoxville is one of the prisoners in this as well, as also Clifton Collins Jr. too. This is a really, really interesting show from start to finish. We then see Remick and Schofield kind of have it out. Remick wants to do things his way. Schofield's like, no, you have to follow this thing. And it's just like, really? Should I? But, you know, you're in my town. You have no jurisdiction here. And, you know, you have to put up borders. But, you know, there are no borders, which is what Remick says, which is really, really interesting. Everything escalates as the manhunt goes on, and as everyone is trying to find Havelock, they're also falling into the sequences of going after the other fugitives, the prisoners, what you want to call it. And it's just the thing of craziness is ensuing from start to finish with these first 2 episodes. You see the aspect of what is really happening, how Alaska itself plays a character in the setting, and then not only that, Jason Clarke as Remick is really, really good. I will say this, if you like thrillers with suspense, interesting aspects to it that will, you know, kind of not drag on a little bit, even though this is the first 2 episodes, you will enjoy this show. If you like the movies Con Air and The Fugitive, and if you've seen The Blacklist with James Spader, this is a show for you. I will say this, there are moments where the pacing is really, really sharp, the stakes are high, but then it slows down in a convoluted way where you're like, okay, let's pick up the pace a little bit, because once they start going after Havelock, once they start going after the prisoners, it's a fun show. But then we get the aspect of, let's calm things a little bit down. What is going on? Let's get into the story of the conspiracy theories, the aspect of the survival, the emotional aspect of things. And then you have characters on here who are doing things great. I love it. Then there are aspects where characters do stupid things, of course, in any TV show. And they're like, really? That doesn't make sense. But then it's dark, it's light, and then you say that, we're going to get soon, Alaska's going to fall into darkness, but then the next scene is bright. It's really, really crazy and really interesting how everything goes. This is a fun first 2-episode premiere. Definitely going to keep watching it. And for me, the first 2 episodes were really, really exciting. Very curious to see how this plays out, because I am a fan of the show The Blacklist starring James Spader, which was fantastic. If he wasn't in that show, I don't think that show could have lasted 10 seasons. Very curious to see how this show plays out, The Last Frontier, because will it be a one-and-done thing, or will you continue it? That's the big, big thing. So let me know in the comment section what you thought about the first 2-episode premiere of The Last Frontier on Apple TV. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the story, the character progression? Who's your favorite character? Who's your least favorite character? And where do you see the show going from here? And do you enjoy drama thrillers like this? And now that I've reviewed it, will you be checking it out now? Let me know in the comment section about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week to my episode 3 review of The Last Frontier.